Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Zwift Cycling Australia eRacing Criterium Championships out on the Watopia Volcano course. We are actually joined live directly from Australia, Ballarat, over in Ballarat with Wesman. He's hanging out with us over there with the live scene, as you can see here with the Australian National Championships on site there. I hear that racers just got done, a few of them actually racing just a few minutes ago, getting done and jumping right out on course with us here for some live e-racing. Wes, can you give us a little explanation? What's going on here?
Yes, thanks, Nathan. Yeah, welcome along, everyone. The national championships in Ballarat, the Criterium Championships, were just finished for the men's event, and we actually have two races in the in-house event we are hosting here in Ballarat at Mitchelton Winery. And Ben Hill, who's a very keen Zwifter, who we'll get onto that a little bit later, Nathan, and Brendan Johnson and Trekkie also goes by a very two keen Zwift races. So those two have just finished the in real life national Criterium Championships, and they're about to take part in the eRacing Criterium Championships here, Nathan, in Ballarat.
Heck yeah, and we do see people starting to line up. We got about 13 minutes to go, as you can see here in the pens for the men's race. There's also, I believe, how many did you say that were actually signed up so far today? I thought there was over 140 signed up, so a lot of people, I think, out there getting their warm-ups in right now. And then in the women's pens, we do see a few lining up still here. As you can see, 14 minutes to go to the start of that. So there actually is still time for you at home to jump into the race. Go ahead and get your water bottles, jump on Zwift, and join into the Cycling Australia eRacing Criterium, both a men's race and a women's race. If you jump into the game, you will see an A category for the men's and a B category to jump into the women's. So go ahead and do so right away. Let's do a quick little look, though, at the riders that are jumping in live from Ballarat. We do, as you said, as you said, Ben Hill, first in the Tour of Thailand 2016, first in the Tour the Tochigi 2017. Any quick little tidbits on Ben today, and what's the favorites here between the men? Maybe what's the little tidbits there that you had there, Wes?
Ben Hill has definitely been warmed up because he's just done the last couple of days the Bay Crits, which are a series of Criterium races across Victoria, and just before Ben Hill was off the front of the men's race just earlier, probably about 20 minutes ago. So he should be nice and warmed up. He was quite aggressive in that race, and I'm sure we're going to see the same sort of aggressive style by Ben here in this eRacing Championship.
Heck yeah, and I did see we also do have, as you did say, Brendan Trekkie Johnson, Cape to Cape 2018 winter, first in 2017 Australian National Championships Marathon XC. Pretty amazing, third year in a row. Chances for Trekkie? What are you thinking here, Wes?
Trekkie is an experienced Zwifter as well. He's raced across the eCrit series, which were run last year, and is definitely knows how to ride on Zwift. Is quite aggressive as well in the style he chooses to race as well, and he just raced in real life Criterium here in Ballarat too. So he's definitely warmed up, and he was up around the pointy end during that race. So we hope to see him up there again for this one.
Yeah, just got them racing and jumping right back out on Zwift here to battle it out for the eRacing Criterium Championships. Kieran Lewis, obviously, Rafa Cycling Club, local RCC Domestique, came sixth in the 2018 Zwift Australia National Championships we had earlier this year. So obviously a strong Zwifter now coming kind of out of the woodwork maybe a little bit here, Wiz. Maybe give the viewers a little tidbits about Kieran.
So Kieran, yeah, is definitely experienced and has done a lot of the Zwift Rafa workouts as well. So he definitely knows Zwift, and he's actually decided not to race the Criterium tonight and save himself for this eRacing Criterium National Championship. So Kieran was quite aggressive, I think, as you remember when we were commentating on the stream during the middle of the season when he finished sixth in the Zwift Championships. So it's great to see him back here tonight, and he certainly is pretty revved up. And was sort of eyeing off his competition there too, Nathan, with Trekkie and Ben Hill. So all three very experienced Zwifters, and that is definitely going to come into play tonight because it's not just about power. You've got to use those power-ups in the right moments as well, Nathan. So there's a little bit of skill and art to Zwifting.
Yeah, definitely. Now, that's the men's side of things. We are lining up here also with the women's side of things, starting to getting some riders into the pens here. 11 minutes to the start for them. And we do have some very high-profile women lining up live there over in Ballarat. We do have, it looks like, Lauren Kitchen here, riding for FDJ Pro since 2012. Road race Oceania National Champion 2015. Second Australian National Championship race, looks like 2014 and 18 actually was. So favorite here for Lauren maybe, or any tidbits here that might have about the racer here with Lauren Kitchen?
Yeah, Lauren is certainly familiar with Zwift as well. She's been using Zwift the last couple of seasons, so she is certainly a strong rider and a strong contender for Sunday's road race. But here tonight for the in real life event here as well, I think she's certainly the other girls will be looking towards her because she is quite a strong rider. So it says it with two-time runner-up at the National Championship Road Championship. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm sure she's going to be quite aggressive here tonight as well.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Also from Mitchell and Scott, pro since 2013, winner of Stage 3 OVO Energy Women's Tour 2018, first in the GUIC, it looks like here as well. Pretty awesome. I mean, three-time Australian representative at the Cycling World Championships. I think Sarah Roy, another one. And then another, that we need to be watching out for sure. But then there's another one that's pro since 2012. And I think a lot of Zwifters will know because of the connection with Canyon Tram and the Zwift Academy is going to be Tiffany Cromwell here, pro since 2010. Two-time stage winner of the Giro d'Italia. I mean, fifth in the World Championships road race. Tiffany and Sarah, I mean, in this matchup between these three, are you counting out a favorite already, or what was happening there with the racing all day today?
Yeah, well, Sarah Roy just finished second in the Australian Criterium Championships just earlier, second to Beck Wysack, who is also has won the championships twice now in a row. So just finished second to Beck Wysack. So she's certainly warmed up as well. And Tiffany did race earlier as well and was up there in a really good position coming into the last corner of the Criterium. So those two have already had a battle tonight, and Sarah's come out on top of Tiffany already. But we'll have to see and wait to see what happens here in this race. It'll be really interesting because it's such a short, sharp race, Nathan. I'm sure all these women here are pretty excited and G'd up because we'll actually have venue winners here as well, Nathan. So it'll be $500 up for grabs for the women and $500 up for the men for the first winner of the venue.
On site at the venue, $500 up for grabs. 43 so far in the men's, 6 minutes to go, and then 43 riders so far in the pens there. Go ahead and make sure to jump in to the World of Zwift here. You can race against those who are on site as well as those who are racing virtually in the Cycling Australia eRacing Criterium. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the course here. We are out on the Watopia Volcano course, 4.1 kilometers. 20 meters total of ascent each lap, and it is going to be 4 laps. Race distance is going to be 18.9 kilometers, and total climbing 95 meters. Now, this was something a little special. Before we do take a quick look at who the riders are, we do have a quick little video introduction of them as well. But there's also something a little special today about this is a first time ever as far as a official national federation coming behind eRacing. I'm taking, Wes. Is that right?
That's absolutely right, Nathan. So this is a world first to have a national governing body sanction a virtual eRacing championship. So it's quite a big deal here, Nathan, and we are certainly excited to be the first. I know the British Federation has announced they will be having a virtual eRacing championships as well. But we like to beat them at the cricket and also in esports. So we certainly we'll take that one under our belt, and very happy about that, Nathan. And I'm sure we are going to see some fireworks here.
We got about 5 minutes to the start of the race. The riders were asked a couple of questions earlier today. Let's go ahead and take a quick little look at what they had to say about what they are facing in the world of Zwift and how they are using Zwift with our riders that are on site live.
Hey, I'm Kieran. I'm from Melbourne. I've been Zwifting for around 2 years now, a bit over 2 years, and I've just found it a great way to train outside of having to actually go on the road.
Hi, I'm Lauren Kitchen. I'm from Port Macquarie in New South Wales. I ride for FDJ. and I've been Zwifting for the past three years or so, 2 or 3 years. And I mainly use Zwift for recovery when it's raining and coming back from injury.
Ben Hill from Canberra. I've been on Zwift for a few years now, probably 3 years. I like to use it when it's in the rain or cold outside, or even just schedule it into my training program once or twice a week just because it's a good session. I love to race mainly on there, and I like to have that in a normal training week, even if it's sunny.
My name is Sarah Roy. I'm from Sydney, Australia. I am pretty new to Zwift. I've been using it for about 1 year now. I started when I was in Europe during the Spring Classics where it's snowing outside, so generally when there's bad weather outside I like to jump on Zwift. But I can hop on there and do my strength endurance sessions as well, and I found it really awesome for all sorts of training, even when there's good weather outside.
I'm Brendan Johnston from Canberra, ACT. I've been Zwifting for a couple of years. I found it works great around my real life career, and I'm able to maintain a almost professional training load.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Cromwell with the Criterium Championship racing team from Adelaide, South Australia. I've been with Zwift since 2016, since they have a partnership with our team, and we've been part of the Zwift Academy with Criterium Championship Racing, so we've seen that process of it. And I use Zwift often for ergo workouts, and sometimes when the weather's bad, just to get out there and have some fun and make ergo training on time on the trainer a lot less monotonous.
I'm excited, as Big Kev would say. No, it should be good. It's a different concept. I've done a Zwift race before, but it's going to hurt for sure. They always do, but it should be good fun.
I'll win. Got to be confident. I'll back myself for the win.
I think it'll be a really close race. There's a lot of strong girls, not just racing here, but I hear there's some top girls racing also online, so hopefully it'll be a good race.
I feel pretty good. I've just raced the Bay Crit Series the last 3 days, so I feel like my crit form's pretty good.
I'm good. Yep, feeling good. Training's been going well. I have taken a different approach to the summer racing this year. Normally I'd probably have a little bit more race form than what I do now. I've been spending most of my time doing endurance sort of base work, but I'm feeling really good.
It's always hard. I mean, to get off the front in a Zwift race is near impossible. I've tried heaps of times, but yeah, look, I mean, if you can follow to the finish and if you get the right power up or whatever and you've timed it right, the sprint is a good option, but yeah, like they're really hard to win, and there's always guys on there that are so strong.
Well, some serious confidence, as you were saying there, coming from Kieran, I believe, Wes. He was straight up for the W. That's what's going to be happening here. And as you were saying, he was resting up, though, specifically for the race, it sounded like here, as the other guys on site there were racing right before this. It does look like things are heating up also in the venue there. Getting a little loud there, Wes, as they are right behind you, I believe.
It's getting a little loud. You probably might be able to hear Jacob. We've got Jacob across from America, and he certainly doesn't even need a microphone. So I can hear Jacob's voice going on. He's doing a couple of little interviews with the riders there now. So it's certainly getting a little bit louder there now. I'm unfortunately watching this up on a screen laptop and not down at the venue, but I'm glad we can get this across to everyone to enjoy, Nathan.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It does look like things are definitely starting to heat up there. The riders are getting warmed up. They got about 45 seconds to start for 4 laps. It's going to be a fast and furious race. It's, 4 laps on the Volcano circuit isn't going to be a long race. It's going to be full-on crit-style racing. The usual type of start, though, I would think here is going to be happening with full-on everything you got from the get-go. People are going to be pretty, I think, amped up to try and take the W out here today. I haven't been able to see just yet from ZwiftPower.com who we have for signups to try and take this down, but I did get some word, I believe, that there was going to be the Australian national champion from this past year jumping out there today, maybe as well as a few others that compete often last year in the Crit Series Australia. So as per usual, though, the orange numbers are starting to kick off. for seeing Bastalt's up in here. We also do have Kate Lewis here up toward the front. Devlin from the AHDR. We're looking at Tolhurst here as well. And let's see who can take up the front end of this race, though, as we do have Diner there. As you can see, a couple of riders coming out of other countries jumping on in to try and take the W down here today. Philip Diner jumping into the race from Vision Cycling. I'd be watching out for him, that's for sure, to at least be in support, I would think, of Jeffrey Creel, who I would think is going to be jumping out there if we are seeing Diner out there right now. B. Braun here, as you can see off toward the front. Going to be on the go-go Power Rangers, as we call it sometimes, with the Z-Power. So we'll be looking for those with the verified power sources out here today for sure. You want to talk a little bit about that? That's going to be a question that's going to start running through people's minds immediately. How do you win? Who can win? How does it end up working out with the rules on the day? Besides just the on-site, obviously $500 up for grabs for those who win in the venue outright. What about virtually if somebody comes across the line first? How's that going to be judged?
Well, that they have to have there's a number of protocols to sign up, so which we released with the in the event info. So they need to be signed up to Zwift Power. They need to be racing with a heart rate monitor, and they need to have a Australian Cycling Federation license. And obviously, the winner won't be announced directly after this race. Nathan will give it at least 36 hours for the winner to be announced on Sunday, which will then be crowned the Australian National Champion for men and women, and they will be handed a medal and a national champion jersey on the same podium as the men and the women at the road race on Sunday here in Buninyong at Ballarat. So pretty big deal, Nathan, for Cycling Australia to get behind esports racing and sanction an actual virtual eRacing championship.
Heck yeah, that sounds awesome. Very awesome. We'll look forward to that. So definitely some serious backing there, as well as some new protocols that that people are going to have to be watching out for as we get more involved with virtual racing meets in real life racing. Now the women have taken off here as well, and I did just see it looked like Kitchen actually leading things out immediately here. It also looks like Cromwell following closely. Maybe the more experienced racer out on Zwift, Tiffany, as she was saying, she has done quite a few Zwift races and knows what to expect there. We also seen a little bit of a break right from the get-go here as Mackey's having a trouble hanging on at 180 beats per minute already. So obviously the difficulty that is the reality of Zwift starts starting to already show. Now you can see on the right-hand side of the course there amongst the women, all of the pro badges are easily recognizable that are the little orange jerseys next to the name. So you can see next to Tiffany's name here, riding in the Canyon Tram kit. We also do see quite a few others. Kitchen is there, as well as I am seeing Sarah Roy there also with the pro badge, obviously, too. I do believe I see a UK National Championship kit in the game right now, I believe, and that is going to be, I believe, Cassie Baldy, I think, showing up on the day, if I'm not incorrect. Or is that actually, no, excuse me, Whitelaw. I got that incorrect. I missed the stars there. So it's actually the Australian national champion showing up looking to try and take down the eRacing national Criterium champion out here today for the women. So Whitelaw showing up, trying to throw down with the pros. And that's a pretty cool situation actually here with the KISS Super League recently announced, now with this as well. Zwift Racing community meets pro racing, being able to work your way up and race against this kind of level. That's such an amazing thing. Hey, Wes.
Absolutely, yeah. Having Vicky in here racing it. Vicky has actually been professional as well, so she's semi-retired now, Nathan. But maybe she'll have another new career fire back up with the esports racing, and certainly getting amongst here with the other pros that we have in the live venue here. Looks like a nice tight pack there, Nathan. I'm sure. With a short style of race it is, we will see some attacks unfold.
Yeah, that's for sure. Thanks for the info there, too, on Vicky. I forgot that she did race professionally prior, so jumping back in amongst the women, definitely earning that kit that is on her back currently right here. We'll see if she can grab another on the day. Plenty of women, though, to battle up against. It looks like 23 total, and I believe about maybe 15 or 16 have made this front group. Back in with the men, though, as they are heading into their first lap out on course, 3.9 kilometers into so far. 4 minutes of racing down, it looks like here. we've got, it looks like still a huge group of riders that have made this front group, but they're about to take down their first challenge, which is going to be the 2-tier climb each lap. It is this 2-tier climb that is coming up here that the riders are going to be watching out for, because it is the longest ascent out on course. And as we all know in cycling, when things go uphill, it is the cream of the crop that rises to the top. That's for sure. I mean, the reality is that when it goes uphill, it's who's got what here. We do see Vegan Portion going off the back there. I know he's been doing more PUBG than he's been doing of riding lately, as he's been streaming a lot over on Mixer, I've seen, and it's been not so much Zwift and a little bit more other kinds of gaming, so perhaps off the back at this point. But he was a finalist actually in recent years at some of the, I believe, finals over there in Australia. I believe he took third or so, somewhere around there in that finals there. But it looks like Porsche going off the back now. Now up towards the front, though, it is going to be Mikami as well as Risanen coming out of Finland. But it's T. Cutler. That's a familiar name. T. Cutler. Do we know that name, Wes? I believe he was a part of some of the KISS Racing Crit series from last year.
He was also I saw you cross through on the Zwift kid, Anthony, there as well. So Anthony Ciano is up in amongst this pointy end as well. So Anthony is was one of the finalists and finished runner-up actually to Dunn in the KISS. Sorry, it was the KISS E-Crit series that we run last year. So Zwift kid, it goes by the name of Envision Cycling, Nathan, which is part of your team that you run on Zwift.
Yep. So Ciano is here. Looks like the Zwift kid. Definitely super fast when he wants to show up and throw down. I would be watching out for him in the sprint. He's a smart rider, that's for sure. If it comes down to pure power of getting away off the front, perhaps not going to have the motor to go with the likes of Diner and some others that might want to drive the pace in a longer sprint to the line. But we'll see if the Zwift kid can make something happen here. Vision has definitely shown up in force. We've got Zawadsky here. Zwift kid, as you could say, Philip Diner in support. I've not seen Creel just as of yet, but maybe perhaps he is mixed in amongst the group here. We'll have to pull up ZwiftPower.com to figure things out. Now, we keep on mentioning ZwiftPower.com. There might be some people who are just tuning in going, we're new to Zwift. What is going on here? Quick little explanation. If you're totally unfamiliar with Zwift and you're like, what am I watching? These are all real riders putting out real power into real bikes in order to produce the power you are seeing in the upper left-hand corner. As I click on each one of these avatars, it represents an actual rider, most likely in the country that the flag is that you see on the right-hand side as we do click there. So most of it you can do see are coming from Australia. This is the eRacing Australian Cycling Championships here. And in the upper left-hand corner, though, you can see the current wattage, heart rate, as well as revolutions per minute that they are putting out. Real riders, real avatar, or real riders representing real power amongst the avatars out here today. As you can see, though, there is also teams that show up that into support of each other. There's an entire community as well as racing scene that is developing out here, out on Zwift. That's been pretty amazing, actually. As we were speaking about Ciano here and going into the lap counter, 4.4 watts per kilometer currently. We did see some orange numbers there momentarily, though, and maybe a little bit of attacks. I have a feeling, though, with such a short race, nobody's going to really try and get off the front here, Wes. What would you think tactically? 4 laps, we're going into 3 laps to go. This is going to be pretty fast and furious. To get away would have to happen right about now, or else there's just not going to be enough landscape for it, I would think.
Yeah, definitely, Nathan. So we would have to see the move come pretty shortly. But it all comes back down to as well the rider's strengths, Nathan. So if someone isn't a pure sprinter or doesn't fancy himself up against the likes of Ben Hill coming into that final there, or Trekkie, or even Anthony Ciano as well, who we said also a very strong finisher in the Zwift racing. So if they don't back themselves, then they will have to attack within the next lap at least, Nathan, to get enough leeway to try and get that time gap over the bunch. But it certainly will be a bit of a challenge, but there will be some other riders in there that probably don't fancy themselves to come down to a head-to-head sprint, and they'll try and probably try and force some sort of move, Nathan, to get a small group. And the next thing that comes after that, Nathan, is getting a small group to work together.
Yeah, for sure. And if they can put a group off the front, they will do so. We are seeing Creel here, as you can see, with the bell helmet on, actually. It looks like he might have unlocked quite a few levels with the new levels coming out. A lot of new accessories being thrown down here. The bikes in game do matter. Opening up new kits and bikes does actually speed up your avatar as you're working out there on course there. And Creel and a lot of, out there in what looks to be one of the newly opened up accessories there. But we are seeing a lot of Tron bikes, one of the fastest bikes out on Zwift, that's for sure. Now, we were looking at Ben Hill. He was up toward the front end of this race here with 3 laps to go. They're heading into their second time up on the top of the 2-tier climb. It does have this intense punch, 7-8%, now 9% almost there for a second there. It does flatten out for a moment. You can regain composure a little bit, but it is pretty much full on all the way to the top. And this is Ciano, as we were talking about here, up into 11 watts per kilogram more momentarily, 194 beats per minute currently coming from him, and beating like a butterfly for sure. Starting to get a little bit of a gap here. We may see a split in this group. It perhaps will settle down a little bit, but be able to calm down and still hold on to the split if the group is large enough off the front here. Now, it is coming back together, it looks like, though, with about, I'd say, 25 riders or so. Some of these riders will be able to get the advantage of the draft. There is drafting in Zwift, if you are unfamiliar with that. These riders are able to sit in on the wheel and put out less of an effort as they do sit on the wheels of the riders. Let's go ahead and see the live action here real quickly here. There is a live venue with the live racers. The women there lined up on the left, the men on the right, as you can see. A lot of focus, a lot of determination in the faces there. But let's go ahead and jump in with the women's situation. It looks like there's been a break early on. Whitelaw, along with Aerosmith, Jennifer Reel from Team Fearless there, as well as C. Hansen. That's a full 23 second gap actually in this women's race already, with 3 laps to go. This is a pretty big gap, actually, and I'm not sure that's coming back. We are actually seeing the pro riders toward the front end of this chase group now. Roy, along with Kitchen, and then it's going to be Cromwell sitting in, being patient, but I'm not sure you can be patient with 4 off the front with that kind of a gap. This might be said and done already here. 3 laps to go. There's still a lot of racing, a lot of time, but this is a dangerous group. Jennifer Reel, Whitelaw, Aerosmith, as well as Hansen, especially Reel and Whitelaw, well-known riders. A lot of power in here. Not sure that this is going to stick together. I'm actually seeing, I believe, another national championship kit, if I'm not incorrect here. Danish national champion with Hubeck. So we've got 2 national champions in here trying to break the pros and see if they can win on the day, Wes.
We have, Nathan, and that is incredible to see that these races, getting together here with Vicky, as well as having 2 national Zwift champions up here at the pointy end with Kitchen and Roy chasing behind. They're really going to have to work, Nathan. We both know from racing a lot on Zwift that when you get over that 20-second gap, that is starting to get a little bit dangerous, and really they need to work together to make sure it doesn't extend out any more than that 20 seconds. It's certainly hard to close back, and being such a short race, Nathan, it could be curtains on the chase group here.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. They're definitely starting to work together. It looks like a little bit here, but 42 seconds. It's gone out a full 20 seconds since the lap started here, and they look extremely motivated at the front end of this group. It is 5.1 watts per kilogram, and I missed it here, but it's also, see, Hansen here, pretty amazing. 3 national champions in this front group here, working together against the 3 pros out on course, looking to try and break them out here. Looks like today, and it looks like so far it's happening with Cecilia Hansen, Luis Hubach, and it's also going to be obviously Vicky Whitelaw. So very strong group. C. Hansen here now 6.4 watts per kilogram, trying to really push the pace here and keep that gap that's gone out to 47 seconds now, as we do see Roy here 188 watts now, as you can see, only 2.7 watts per kilogram. Kitchen here working together with them. Looks like they're almost waiting up for the group and saying, come on, let's work together, perhaps maybe caught out a little bit as the as they went over the top of that first climb, maybe expecting it to come back together later on, and unable to really do anything about this attack now as it's gone just out of hand, it looks like a little bit, and perhaps this will be the winning move. Back in with the men, though, as we are seeing some crazy attacks actually taking place right now as they go over the 2-tier, and I did just see, actually, no, it was not leaving the 2-tier, it was actually heading over toward the 2-tier. There was, up and out of the saddle, some orange numbers here coming from, it looked like Howl, who continues to just attack off the front, but this is, as we do call it sometimes for fun, the Go-Go Power Rangers a little bit here. We'll give him a ride on for his show up in the workouts that he's getting. He cannot win on the day, though, because he is on Z Power. For those of you who aren't familiar with the regulations around racing and virtual racing, they've actually gotten very stringent and pretty cool, actually, the way that the community as well as Zwift have worked together to make this happen. ZwiftPower.com goes ahead and verifies riders, make sure that they've got good setups, make sure that their power files match real life power files matching up with the setup that they do have at home. And Z Power, which is estimated power cannot win, so you at least have to have a real power meter or a smart trainer in order to throw down for the W out there. So good efforts, though, and that's what it's really all about a lot of times, is the efforts. When it comes down to, though, the awards that start to get thrown out there and the titles, a lot of that needs to get checked on. And that has a lot to do with, Wes, why we have that 36 hours verification. We've got the National Federation checking on things like gender, checking on things like doping, things like that. Right, Wes?
Exactly like that, Nathan. Yeah, it is important that these riders, if they actually want to take out that W for the green and gold national championships, they need to follow the protocols. So having a heart rate monitor is the first step, Nathan. So any riders out there which don't have a heart rate monitor, don't have a CA license, and aren't registered up to Zwift Power, aren't eligible to win, but they are certainly eligible to take part and participate. And we did see a few other women drop off early in the race, Nathan, but it's all part of taking part in experiencing Zwift racing as well. So it's not just a point in. We want to support, especially having 23 women sign up. We wanted to get as many as we could, so it was great to see that we did have at least a little bit of a peloton there for the women, and certainly a strong field there of over 100 or plus there deep for the men.
Yeah, it's a great showing today, actually, for the first ever eRacing Criterium Championships, and pretty excited to see what's happening here. Now, amongst the great little explanation there as to why and how the verification is just coming further and further within the world of virtual racing, actually. But toward the front end of this race, Hull is off the front, and he will be able to be the first one across the line on the day, but unable to take the W without the solid power source there. But we are seeing a rider out of Canada here toward the front, pushing the pace a little bit here with Takahashi as well as Mud. It will be Devlin there. Things have definitely calmed down, though, it looks like here. It looks like the first lull after the initial storm, but the Zwift kid here not letting it calm down too much as he kicks off the front again, being super aggressive, which is a little bit surprising for me. I would think that Ciano would want the W out here today, or perhaps is he working for somebody else? Is it going to be Creel? Is it, I know that Creel has won many a sprints before, and when it comes down to showing up for the big numbers on, the national championship type days, the days where it's all on the line for that one win, we've seen him win plenty of times in those situations. So perhaps that's what they're working for here, as we are seeing Diner as well as Ciano making their way. Now, Diner with an aero power up, actually, was that a mistake? Or is that just to push the pace and make sure that nobody is able to hang with? This is an odd situation with one lap to go. Now, are we seeing a situation here, Wes, I believe, where the riders are starting to play team tactics? And in a pro, you've been in pro pelotons before. They've only got a few K to go at this point. The pro peloton type situation, or the peloton situation where you're lined up for a sprint, a team's job is to just make it stupid fast at the front. Not so fast that your sprinter can't hang on, but so fast that nobody else can hold on to the wheel or come around the wheel besides your sprinter.
I get the biggest thing there, Nathan, exactly that is you don't want it to be any lulls there, because that's a moment for someone to attack and for someone else to go. So if the pace is set up really high and everyone's strung out single file, which we can see here, it looks like there's actually a bit of a gap that pace has come up so high. But the thing with that, Nathan, is to be really controlled pace. you don't want to actually do what's sort of eventuated here, unless that was a tactic. But most of the time, you want to keep it a really high, hard pace that no one can attack. But you don't want to actually force a gap. You want to keep that high pace because with a gap comes maybe then a bit of a lull after that, and after that lull comes, then you have set it perfectly up for a shake and bake attack of someone going over the top. So yeah, it has to be a controlled effort. It can't be a sort of a hit the front and sprint effort. There needs to be a controlled long effort. And that's what the domestics are very, very good at. And I'm sure that that everything seems to be settled back down here, Nathan. There was a little bit of a stretch in the peloton there now, but things are sort of bunched back up here again now. It's still stretched out, so the power is still reasonably high here. And the heart rates are still high up around that 170 to 180 mark there too.
We're about to see some of the final attacks here as we're heading into this final lap. This is the last time up from the top of the two-tier. Diner now making his way to the front, coming out of Germany. Now I have a feeling he's trying to set up for one of his Vision riders there out of Australia. But perhaps we're seeing Pill here now, as well as Riley making the way to the front. They've been toward the front a whole lot. Now, I don't know. I'm looking for some of the riders that are live on site there. I haven't seen the likes of Hill too much toward the front. There he is, though. Hill still in the mix, but 2 seconds back there. Looking for Kieran as well. I haven't seen the name out on course in quite a while. Hopefully he's been able to make his way into this front pack and not get dropped off throughout the racing here. Kay Lewis here now from RCC. As you do see, there he is, as we're seeing 5.2 watts per kilogram coming from him. So able to hang in there, still hanging tough, and not getting dropped off just as of yet. We've been looking for Trekkie still. Brendan Johnson, if we can spot him out on course and see if he's still been able to make this front group. But we at least have Hill as well as Lewis still in and amongst the pack here. We'll see if they can win outright on the day. Still half a lap to go amongst the men. Nothing really broken up just yet, but we are into the final half a lap here. Just a couple of K to go. Back in with the women's racing situation quickly before we jump back into the final sprint for the men. And it's going to be, I believe, a lap and a half to go still for them, and there is still a solid gap. But Whitelaw with Hansen with the break just through that last two-tier, actually, and it's going to be the Australian national champion and the Swedish national champion off the front, battling it out for this initial eRacing Criterium Championships, killing it off the front here, it looks like now. And now here's the question. They could win on the day, right, Wes? But is it a country, men or women, that is going to take down the actual W for the Federation? That's correct, right, Wes?
That's correct, Nathan. So Vicky here has signed up on Zwift Power and is racing with a higher motor, so she is eligible to win it, and she is an Australian license holder as well, sanctioned by Australian cycling license. So yes, she's eligible for the win here, but unfortunately anyone else participating from other countries is welcome to race, but not to take the W officially, Nathan.
Gotcha, right on. And as we are seeing, it is Hansen and Whitelaw, both from Innovation, obviously setting that up. All right, but well, before we get back in with them for seeing how those team tactics are playing out, this is it for the sprint for the men. They are ramping it up from way out as they head into their final time into the volcano, and it looks like it's going to be Ciano who's attacking. No, coming from way out, it's Coles from the dirt team. Dad's inside riding trainers is killing it. It looks like the dirt team is going to go off the front, it looks like, with their own power up, but here comes Riley. Will Riley overtake him? It looks like just barely. It's going to be Jay Riley at the line. Oh, Coles went from way out, but we got to wait for ZwiftPower.com for the preliminary, but it looked like it was Riley. We'll look at the replay in just a minute here. A. Coles went from way out for Team Dirt, one of the coolest teams actually out there, out on Zwift with that acronym. Dad's inside riding trainers, trying to represent us dads out there, looking for the W for the Australian eRacing Criterium Championship here. Almost pulled it off. He might have, but it looked like it just nipped him by a wheel length at the line there. Looks like Vision had showed up with some serious firepower trying to take this one out there today, but it doesn't look like it was able to happen for them today. Maybe a couple too many attacks off the front early on. It doesn't look like it get organized to make the tactics work out there, Wes.
No, it doesn't look like that organized at all, Nathan. But what a finish it was there. And we see now that Vicky doesn't look like she's going to be caught here, Nathan. She's maintained that gap here. They're both working really well here together. So the Swedish national champion certainly is laying it on the line here. And it'll be interesting to see whether I'm sure they will sprint this out, Nathan. Obviously, the national championship will go to Vicky, but it will be interesting to see who gets the W here, either Haynes and also Vicky Whitelaw.
Yeah, it is interesting to see. I mean, with Hansen here along with them, both being from Team Innovation, obviously this was planned. They had worked it out together. Let's go out here and grab this eRacing Criterium Championship. We are seeing also the Danish national champion there along with Jennifer Reel, and it looks like Sierra Smith here, 3 riders here battling out for the 3rd place on the podium for the day. We are also looking at, it looks like Murphy here leading things out with the pros now, with Hamilton from the BRT Hellcats there, and it is going to be Cromwell mixed in with Roy, I believe, and it is going to be Kitchen here, still able to hang on with the pack here. They'll be able to battle it out for the pack sprint, but definitely maybe sleeping a little bit on the day to try and follow the moves. Maybe thought it'd all come back together, but with such a short race out here today, I'm not sure that that was. Maybe the tactic was planned out perfectly, or they thought perhaps the strength of the field was stronger to bring it back together there, Wiz. A lot of times you do want to let moves like that go, because usually they are going to come back to you. Are we there, Wes? Wes? No? Yeah?
Yes, sorry, my internet had a little bit of a flat wheel there. I heard you say something about you don't want to follow the moves, and then a cut out of me there, Nathan.
No internet. So we're trying to communicate with Wes all the way over in Australia from the Midwest of the US of A. So a little bit of a lapse there for a moment there. But I was saying that, what happened there? We've got these pros sitting in, and a lot of times in crit racing, you can allow a move to go, and especially in Zwift racing. In Zwift racing, these early moves, it's not usual that they stick and they get away. A lot of times the pack is able to bring it back, but I think maybe there was a little underestimation of the strength of the riders that have gone ahead. Also in the women's races, a lot of times we do see a couple of riders that are just head and shoulders above the rest and are able to get away. And I think perhaps there was an overestimation of the strength of the pack that was that then allowed these few riders to get away and just ride away completely. And it would have been maybe on the shoulders of just the pros to work together and bring that back. Does that make sense, Wes, what I'm getting after there? That they overestimated the strength of the group, because usually it brings it back.
Yeah, it does, Nathan. Also, all of the riders that went out in that break were committed, so they instantly started working together and dug deep together. So obviously, I do think that the underestimation of that group getting away, and then obviously the pack then relying on the pros to do that chasing as well, Nathan. And I think that hesitation there, it just come too late. And once the girls got organized, they actually split off and didn't get too much help. Then there was like only two or three away there with Roy and Kitchen. So yeah, it was that reaction become too late. And with that stall there of not chasing straight away, Nathan. Pretty much when it comes to this, you would sort of think that these sort of gaps would open up and come back, like you said. But with this one, that one went straight out, because I think we saw like a good, 4 to 5 strong riders commit straight away. Obviously, Vicky is a very strong rider and actually won the Zwift championships earlier in the year, just time trialing away. And that was a longer sort of style race. But I wouldn't expect to see this repeat happen on such a short course, Nathan. So to answer your question, I think they definitely have underestimated this such a short course to let that gap go, especially out to 20 seconds. Like I said, once it gets past that 20 seconds on Zwift, that's definitely you need a really strong group and cohesion for everyone to work together to get that back.
We are seeing the Aero Power Up coming out here. Vicky, it looks like, looking to take the W down here. And we didn't mention Hubach there as well was part of Innovation. I mean, absolutely a huge result here coming in for Innovation. They planned this perfectly here, actually. And there it is, the W on the day for Innovation absolutely killing it. Vicky Whitelaw taking down another championship out on Zwift. What an amazing ride. Full support there coming from her teammates, obviously, there as they come across the line. Innovation showing up with three major riders, actually, you know, absolutely killing it and taking down the W. Looks like Hubach was able to get the better of Jennifer Reel there momentarily there, as well as see Aerosmith. We're going to see if we can find our way back here to the rest of the women, as we definitely want to catch the final for the riders that are on site there. Now, did we see, Wes, for what was going down with the men's race for the on-site, do we know who won between the men on site there so far?
Yes, Denise George has just updated me that Kieran Lewis has taken out for the in real life venue winner. So Kieran was the RCC rider, the rider in the orange on the right-hand side, just zipping his jersey up now. So Kieran has taken home the $500 for the in-house race. So we still have the battle happening in-house here, Nathan, coming up to the finish line now for the women as well.
Yeah, it looks like Kitchen is actually off the front just a little bit with an aero power-up going extremely early, actually. So El Kitchen here. Ooh. Roy is trying to follow it up there. Cromwell's off the back, maybe sitting in and waiting just perfectly with the timing. No more aero power-up. A lot of landscape to go yet. Still about 200 meters, but she's got a 2-second gap. She's just holding on, but here comes Roy. 8 watts per kilogram coming from Sarah Roy. Can she come across? I'm not sure she's going to make it. It's going to come right to the line. Look at the speed. It's Roy at the line with the W on site there, taking down that $500. Sarah Roy shows that she's got a kick into those orange numbers. 9 watts per kilogram for quite a long time. Timed it perfectly there, too.
Sarah Roy.
Like. Did she have a good day today as well in the Criterium Nationals, too, as you were saying?
She was second to Rebecca Wyzak, who won the championships last year for the in Ballarat. So second in the in real life race just before taking part in the eRacing Championships here on Zwift.
Absolutely awesome. You can see the crowd there gathering around down in Ballarat there. They're over in Australia. This is live shots here, everybody. A little bit fuzzy here. We're trying to bring them in best as we can, but as you can see, it's all the hype there over in the live shots there from the Australian Nationals on site. Obviously, racing already a little bit of racing some Criterium already in real life today. They're going to be looking forward to also some road nationals coming up, I think you said on Sunday as well, Wes?
Yeah, exactly that, Nathan. So the we'll have to crunch the data and make sure that the riders are signed up and followed all the protocols of that heart rate monitor, the Zwift power, and a Cycling Australian license. And then in roughly 36 hours' time, Nathan, the winner will be crowned in Ballarat on the same podium as the men and women's road race champions. So they'll be donning the green and gold jersey as well as a gold medal for the eRacing Criterium Championships brought to you on Zwift, but sanctioned by Cycling Australia, so an official Cycling Australia jersey and medal. So pretty big deal, Nathan, and we are certainly happy that this has happened down under.
Absolutely awesome. Now, let's take a quick little look at the replay here. Pretty amazing sprints here all around from the riders here. And obviously, I believe we've got a quick little look here. It was going to be Hansen here along with Whitelaw. This was the win in the women's race coming across the line. Hansen obviously working together with Whitelaw there along with Hubach to get off the front. It was an amazing effort there coming from Whitelaw, Hansen, as well as Hubach to break the pack and take the W. This was heading into the final lap. So this was their the effort there from Innovation to show up on the day and take down the W. Then here is the final moments there across the line there. Whitelaw taking down that W. Obviously Hansen backing off and allowing the teammate to throw down.
You think, Nathan? Do you think that was Vicky Whitelaw giving her the ride on as we were coming up that home stretch? Maybe.
That might have been. That might have been, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. Thanks a lot to the teammates as they definitely put the work in on the day. And then within the men's race, I believe we did see a little. Oh, no, this is actually the final here within for Kitchen, as she was able to try and break away. This was the final attack here in the group sprint and amongst the riders on site. And look at Roy. come across with all of that speed, absolutely killing it. And Kitchen maxed out at 198 beats per minute. What a ride there between the women. Huge effort all around. Huge effort all around. And as we do see here, I was going to see if we can actually bring in the men's final here, but our replay is not coming in for the men, so apologies on that, everybody. But I can at least talk a little bit about the way that worked out. Jesse Riley, it looks like preliminary for that W. He did attack at a perfect time there, it looks like, to break away fairly well. Almost got caught there. Well, actually, no, he attacked from the pack. Aaron Coles from Team Dirt actually was the one to go early on. Dad's inside and riding chairs. Innovation. This is actually a double up. If the preliminary results are right here, Wes, Innovation takes down a double header, actually, men's and women's. If these all things stay right at this point, and within the next 36 hours, everybody's verified, it's going to be Team Innovation with 2 eRacing championships actually underneath their belt. Did I lose, Wes?
True, Nathan. Well, that's going to be a very happy campus with that team, and certainly the aspects of that, Nathan, of as these eRacing championships are sanctioned, obviously teamwork is going to come into play in a big way. So obviously they're going to get more people involved, that are Zwifters, and maybe start to interest people that aren't Zwifters as well, Nathan, to start racing. To be a domestique for their other teammates in real life, the teams are a part of. So certainly with the KISS Super League as well kicking off, Nathan, I think there's going to be a lot of talk, and certainly having this event kick off the start of the season, I'm sure there's going to be some chatter about the esports sort of racing and how that looks to be starting to build momentum, certainly for the future.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'm excited to see how that ends up playing out amongst the esports. Obviously, KISS Super League coming. But today, the focus all around the new, first ever that we've ever seen eRacing Criterium Championships with a national federation backing it. Excited to see how the podium plays out on Sunday. So if you are going to be looking for the official results, 36 hours to go. And barring anything funky in the background there, if everybody's got their national federation license and everything checks out right with Zada, with the Zada verification with Zwift Power, we should see a couple of new Zwift champions that we just saw cross the line with these preliminary results, Wes.
Absolutely, Nathan. Yeah, it's been a great in-house here in Ballarat, and also been a great amount of Zwifters show up and support on the stream too. So thanks to everyone that's tuned in, and thanks to everyone that's taken part in the race as well, Nathan. We've certainly enjoyed the broadcast, and I'm sure that there'll be a few people getting some cold beverages in their hands quite soon.
Yep. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Obviously, as Wes said out there, thanks a lot, Wes, for the commentary. It was great insights into all of the riders there and what's going on live at the Australian National Championships. This was the first ever eRacing Criterium Championships. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to hit that follow button wherever you're watching for more things on all things Zwift. As always, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and ride on.